Annyeonghaseyo from Korea. Welcome to Next Matchup. Today we're going to the supermarket. I want to try out these instant makguksu packets that you can buy in Korea here at the supermarkets. Let's go.
Chuncheon Memil Makguksu. Chuncheon Memil Makguksu. Easy. Annyeonghaseyo from Korea. Welcome to Next Matchup. Today we're cooking Chuncheon Memil Makguksu. Let's see how easy this is, and more importantly, at the end, we'll see how delicious it is. So, let's get started. I bought this carrot especially to put on here. No carrot.
So Chuncheon is a city in Korea, and Memil Makguksu are buckwheat noodles. What makes this special and why it's called Chuncheon Memil is there's a little bit of broth in there that is put at the bottom, which you can see in the picture. So we're going to make this dish using the packet that we've got, and it's going to be in this Chuncheon style, which has the delicious broth included. So let's open this packet and see what's inside. Here's our buckwheat noodles, that's what makes it Memil Makguksu, as well as our spicy bibimbap. So we're going to mix that up. It's a spicy red sauce. I guess that's why the packet's red. And there's the broth, alright? So we're going to put that away in the freezer in a second, just to cool it down while we make everything. And that is some sliced seaweed with some sesame seeds. And we don't want that because we can make our own. So this goes in the freezer. And when we're done preparing everything, we'll take it out of the freezer. Use a little bit of cucumber to slice into matchsticks. There's little bits of cucumber in the picture on the packet, so that's why I'm going to do that. And I also always like to have something crunchy when I'm doing this type of noodle dish. There we go, that should be fine enough to slice those up. Cucumber goes great with the spicier sort of sauce that we're going to put on there. And the texture goes well because everything is sort of soft, so it's good to have a bit of crunch. Speaking of crunch, we've got some chives here, so slice those up. I'm pretty sure there's chives in the picture, but I almost always put chives in my noodles when I'm making this dish. Now, we are provided with seaweed that comes with the packet, but I love this seaweed. The seaweed that you get with the packet is not, it's bland to be honest, whereas this seaweed is covered in, it's got a bit of chumpkidam, which is sesame oil, as well as some sea salt. It tastes amazing. I'm also adding in some meat on the top of this. It is not traditional to add beef to this dish, but it tastes great, so I'm doing it. And my idea here is that I want the beef, in this case the meat, to be crispy on the outside because I think that'll give me a nice sort of crispy texture, almost like you're frying up bits of bacon to put on top. So that's the idea I'm going with. This type of sliced beef, sort of sliced very thinly, and you buy it frozen. It's very common in Korea. A lot of dishes use this. Since we're mixing everything up to eat this, I figure I'm going to slice this nice and thin to put on top. That way it'll mix well with the noodles later on. For our noodles, we're going for 3 minutes in boiling water. And you don't want much longer than that, especially for these noodles. They fall apart really easy. I would prefer to use noodles that I buy myself, or I have this specific brand that I like, but we're using the packet ones, so, you know, we're going to use what we're given. But I don't like these noodles. They're very sort of soft, and they really do fall apart if you overcook them. Once they're done, turn the heat off, and we're going to throw them in the cold water. Give them a quick wash. Now the reason we wash these is because if you've had these noodles before, you know they're very starchy. So what happens is once you put it in the bowl, after giving it, you know, a rinse off at least, or cooling it down, you'll find that it clumps together and you get this big sort of ball of noodles that don't break apart very easily. We don't want that. Alright, so let's plate this. There's our red sauce. This is sort of what makes it that Memil Makguksu, that bibimbap almost. Mixed sauce with a spicy sauce on top. You can make this yourself and you'll actually get a little bit better flavor, a bit more natural. It's a cucumber and our seaweed. Ooh, that's perfect. The meat. This looks great so far. Chives, and of course we should throw in some sesame seeds over the top. I've ground mine down just slightly. Now this broth that I've just pulled out of the freezer is so cold and it's going to be perfect. So I'm going to use one whole packet. It recommends using one packet for one portion. Let's see how this tastes.
Now there's the Dilgirim Makguksu instant set. You can buy that from the supermarket, and I didn't enjoy that one very much. I thought the taste was very bland, so I'm very curious to see how this goes. I mean, it looks good, but let's taste it. I don't really want to mix it up. It looks so beautiful. All right, now it's we gotta mix these up. Oh. Ooh, yum. Oh, I mean, that looks good. That is how you eat noodles. But the taste is what we're here for, not what it looks like. Okay, there we go. Much nicer than the other ones. But at the same time, I do feel like I could make this at home just as easy. That sauce is really easy to make, and those noodles, the quality isn't as good. If you look at my other makguksu videos, my homemade ones, you can see I use these beautiful thick makguksu noodles, memil noodles basically. You know, buckwheat noodles. So you get a much chewier texture. Whereas these are chewy, but they're very small. I don't like the size of them. I like the thicker ones. So they're not quite the same. And the sauce is alright, but it doesn't have all when you make your own sauce at home, it's so easy and you can control the flavor that you want. So it's not bad, but I feel like I can definitely improve on it. Adding the meat though, perfect. That little bit of meat flavor is really good. It's definitely not traditional though. So, I'm making Chuncheon Memil Makguksu. I don't know if they add a little bit of meat to it. That's my own little twist on it, but I like that anyway. For $4, it's not a bad deal, but at the end of the day, I can just make my own at home, and I kind of enjoy making it at home. It's just more fun, and the taste is better. So, not the biggest fan of these, but if you were really stuck, or if you want to try them at home, and you can see them at your local supermarket, definitely pick them up and give it a try. See how you like it. Maybe you'll really enjoy the flavor, and they're pretty easy to make. So, thanks for watching. Keep an eye out, let's see what I find out at the supermarket next. And of course on my channel I have these recipes as well. Make your own at home. Just follow along with my simple to follow directions as well as my wonderful video of me making it. Thanks for watching and 안녕히 see ya. I really thought there was a carrot in the picture. We're back from the store and we've got our Dilgirim Makguksu packet. Here it is right here. Instructions are on the back. It looks pretty simple. So let's open it up and see what's inside. There we go. We have memil myeon. 2 servings. Oh wow, okay. What is this? This is our dilgirim. This is the perilla seed oil, perilla oil. This is our yuksu, kanjang soy sauce yuksu. So we'll put that at the bottom of the bowl once we're done. And this is our chamge, and it's got gimgomyeong. So that means like dried seaweed flakes and sesame seeds. All right, let's take these and let's get started.
And here are the extra ingredients that I'm going to put in. So we've got some beef that I'm going to fry up. We've got perilla seed powder, some chives, as well as some other things. So we're going to combine that with what comes in the packet, which you can see on screen now. And let's see the differences in the 2 different dishes that I'm going to make. The first big difference is my seaweed. There's the seaweed from the packet. It looks okay. There's not many sesame seeds in there, so let's make it a bit better. Take some gim. This is the roasted from packet sort of gim or seaweed. Mix up some of my own sesame seeds and then mix it in with the gim. Look, there's lots of sesame seeds in this one, but the one that we have from the store, not so many. Second is we're going to add some chives. Look at the picture on the packet. There's like chives on it. So you've got to add some chives on top. Got to follow, at least make it look like what it looks like in the picture. For our noodles, it says on the back 3 minutes in boiling water. So 3 minutes, make sure you mix them around. They're like really pushed together. So if you don't mix them up, they'll clump together too much. And then after 3 minutes of boiling, take them out, rinse them under cold water. Give them a really good rinse and get your hands in there. Rub off the starch. There's a lot of starch on these ones. These ones are really starchy compared to the ones I usually use. So give them a really good mix and get the starch off. Here's our packet soy sauce. Okay, get that on. Now this was the gim or the seaweed from the packet. Get that too. Got our little sesame seeds you can see. Add our chives, make it look like it looks on the on the picture there. There's the dill garam. If you look at the packet, you can see them pouring something out of a bottle. That's basically what that is. And not bad, so that's essentially what you're getting. I've added the chives, but that's it. Let's make it a little bit more delicious though. First, you've got to add beef, I reckon. This is such a tasty way to eat it. You could probably slice it up thinly if you wanted. I just did it in bigger pieces. Here's my gim. Much better flavor from this. It doesn't look, it sort of falls everywhere, but that's okay. Beautiful. It's harder to put the chives on top. The dill garam. And I'm actually going to put a little bit of perilla seed powder. I love just the way it looks, and I love the flavor you get from perilla seed powder. Don't put too much though. It will overpower it. Look at that. Yum. Or at least it looks yum. Here's a quick review. This was not delicious at all. My one looks better than the one from the packet, but we're still using the packet ingredients, the soy sauce and the dill garam, and it tasted horrible. The memil, that's the noodles, that was horrible too. So I highly recommend you go to my channel and look up the Makguksu recipe that I make. Follow that one and just make it from scratch. It's not that hard. And the taste is 1,000 times better. So it's a thumbs down from me actually. Let's put more of this in here. Yeah. Now we're talking. Yeah.
Annyeonghaseyo from Korea. Welcome to Next Matchup. Today we're cooking something that I picked up at the supermarket. I got another packet from there, got it on sale, and we're gonna cook this up and see if it's any good. While I do prefer to cook things from scratch, it's great to have the option to be able to go to the supermarket and find something that's, basically pre-made. Super easy to put together and eat, but does it taste any good? So stick around to the end of the video, I'll eat it and I'll tell you how it tasted. Is it worth it? Or should I just cook my own one? Now, this one is Jeju Island Gogi Guksu. So I've got some meat here. The meat's not exactly the same as the one in the picture, but you make do with what I've got. And luckily, I've even got a bit of green onion. So we're gonna make this and see how it tastes. Let's begin. Let's see what's inside the packet. And here's our sauce. If you want, there's two ways. Jinhage is to put the sauce in with some water and then put the noodles in later and cook it, and that'll give you a deeper sort of color. Otherwise, you can do a clear version where you put the sauce in after cooking the noodles. I like a deeper flavor, so let's put the sauce in with the water. Deeper, darker flavor. So get this boiling. Ooh, look at that. Perfect. And then we put our noodles in, and these are supposed to cook for about 9 minutes. So get the timer started. We've got 9 minutes, and that's time to prepare everything else. The meat that's cooking in the pot with the sauce does not look very appetizing, so let's add our own to put on top. I'm going to use some thinly sliced beef. Get it nice and crispy on the outside, but still soft and tender on the inside. These are green onions to put in. They'll just help, add a little bit more flavor to our dish. And I've saved a few green onions to put on top later. Give a bit more crunch to it, and it'll also look like the packet.
you should always taste and season accordingly. So I tasted it and thought, whoa, yeah, let's get some salt in there. We don't want bland soup today. You could probably put pepper, a little bit of pepper into it, but you know, keep the flavors as it's supposed to be and just go with some salt. So pour that in. It's been 9 minutes and everything's cooked and soft. And there we can see that meat that comes with it. This is not mine. I didn't add this. I think that's pork. It's very soft. And we'll see how it tastes later. But I'm not looking forward to eating that, I got to admit. So put my meat on top there. Trying to, I don't know. I just want to make some sort of thing that I can put my green onions on. So there we go. Get the green onions on there as beautifully as I can. Look at that. You got that deep, darker flavor. I imagine if you do it the other way, the sauce broth will be a little lighter. But how does it taste? Well, let's see. I'm going to eat it and let you know what it was like.
Okay, let's see how this tastes. So far, it looks good. The soup is good. I tasted it, salted it, a little bit of seasoning, always good. Let's see how it is. That meat. Well, the meat I added is definitely good. How about their meat? Alright. Very bland. I could tell by looking at it. It's got that sort of white color to it. Doesn't look very appetizing. I think this meat is going to be much better than the meat that comes with it. But what about the noodles and the soup? Yeah, it's pretty good. You can't really go wrong with noodles though. Bit of the soup. Admittedly, that soup's really good. The like guksu, or like the broth that's in it, is so tasty. Though it's quite not salty, but it's hard to make that one wrong. It's such an easy one to make. Bit of meat, bit of sort of other ingredients, and of course a bit of stock, and basically you've got a soup that tastes like this. But for $4, not bad. That's a good meal, and obviously adding in some of my own special ingredients makes it much more tasty. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and have a great day. Let's put more of this in here. Yeah. Now we're talking. Yeah.